Peace, family. First and foremost, all praise and thanks is due to the Most High. Shout out and respect to the ancestors and the elders. You are in the house with Native Son. That's right. I said you are in the house with Native Son. And today, we got a few things on the agenda. First and foremost, we're going to take a real quick moment of silence for our brother, our honorable brother, Chadwick Boswin, as we move forward in discussing his life, some contributions, sharing some of his speeches and some content, that has to do with him specifically. So if we can real quick, we're going to take 10 seconds of silence for this brother.
When I think of going to work every day and the passion and the intelligence, the resolve, the discipline that everybody showed, I also think of two questions that we all have received during the course of multiple publicity runs. And one is, did we know that this movie was going to receive this kind of response? Meaning, was it going to make billions of dollars? Was it going to make $1 billion? Was it going to still be around during this award season? And the second question is, has it changed the industry? Has it actually changed the way this industry works, how it sees us? And my answer to that is to be young, gifted, and black. We all know what it's like to be told that there is not a place for you to be featured, yet you are young, gifted, and black. We know what it's like to be told to say there's not a screen for you to be featured on, a stage for you to be featured on. We know what it's like to be the tail and not the head. We know what it's like to be beneath and not above. And that is what we went to work with every day, because we knew not that we would be around during award season or that it would make $1 billion, that we had something special that we wanted to give the world, that we could be full human beings in the roles that we were playing, that we could create a world that exemplified a world that we wanted to see. We knew that we had something that we wanted to give. And one thing I do know, did it change the industry? I know that you can't have a Black Panther now without a 2 on it. So we love you and we celebrate it.
There it was, ladies and gentlemen. There it was, ladies and gentlemen. Chadwick Boswin. Chadwick Bosman. Some words from him on his acceptance speech. We're sending out prayers, pouring libations today for this brother. We got our special guest. He's already in the house. He was prepped and ready to go already. We got MHE Black, doing his thing, getting ready and getting prepared. We're going to wait for the people to file in. Later on, you're going to get a special performance from my guy, MHE Black. He's going to let you know what's going on, with him,
when
with
I
Miles
think of
High.
Going to work every day and the passion and
going to work every day and the passion that it takes to maintain through whatever we're doing. And sometimes we got to remember, in order to work hard, we got to play hard. You know what I mean? And who knows how to play harder than MHE Black? Yeah.
I took half a stripper, started saying shit. I took half a stripper, seen an elephant. I took half a stripper, started saying shit. I took half a stripper, seen an octopus.
Yeah.
I took half a stripper, now we fucked up.
MHE Black. MHE Black.
Got me fucked up. Took half a stripper, we ain't got the puss. Yeah, took half a stripper, now we fucked up. Took half a stripper, started saying shit. Took half a stripper, now we fucked up. Took half a stripper, seen an elephant.
MHE Black is in the building. Miles High Entertainment. We're going to be celebrating Chadwick Boseman until we get a few people in the room. We going to let ride. What need to ride? Ride. Live.
I took half a strip and started seeing shit. I took half a strip and seen an elephant. I took half a strip and started seeing shit. I took half a strip and seen an octopus. I took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and I ain't with the puss. Took half a strip and got me fucked up. Took half a strip and we ain't got the puss. Yeah, took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and started seeing shit. Took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and seen an elephant. Took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and seen an octopus.
MHE Black.
Took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and we ain't got the puss. Yeah.
Took a half a strip, feeling magnificent. Yeah, I'm feeling it, my mind is traveling to another galaxy. Is this real or rough fantasy? Got all these stars surrounding me. I'm tripping hard, yep, in reality I'm about to be devoured by this third masterpiece. As it is the master key.
I took half a strip and started seeing shit. I took half a strip and seen an elephant. I took half a strip and started seeing shit. I took half a strip and seen an octopus. I took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and I ain't with the puss. Took half a strip and got me fucked up. Took half a strip and we ain't got the puss. Yeah, took half a strip and I was fucked up. Took half a strip and started seeing shit. Took half a strip.
MHE Black, we getting prepped and ready, letting you soak into some vibes, getting you ready for what you're gonna hear, what's gonna come from the talent that's present in this room. I feel the power, I feel the energy. If you can feel it too, let's get some likes and some hearts going. MHE Black, Miles High Entertainment. Once again, we are here for our honorable brother Chadwick Aaron Boseman, born November 1977. Passed away on August 28th, 2020. He was an American actor. He played several historic figures such as Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, his role, superhero Black Panther for the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. You know, it made him an international star, winning him an NAACP Image Award and a Screen Actors Guild Award and many awards. He was born and raised in South Carolina. He attended Howard University, where he studied the fine arts. He began his career early in acting, directing, writing, and that's the thing a lot of people don't know, that this brother didn't just act. He wrote, he directed, he plays, he did, a hip-hop plays. He did a lot of things, man. He did a lot of things. He was teaching in New York. He relocated to Los Angeles, where his first leading role in Hollywood film was Jackie Robinson. Toward the end of his life, his films included 21 Bridges. He also co-produced The Five Bloods. His final film, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, will be released, later on Netflix. But either way, we're talking about Chadwick Boseman. And I didn't want to be the only one talking or speaking. So many wonderful creatives and wonderful people out in the world do what they have to do in order to get content to the people. So let's enjoy some of that content now. An educational piece about Boseman.
Known in history for taking on roles like Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and the unforgettable Black Panther. Stay tuned for more as we share interesting facts from the biography of Chadwick. The life of Chadwick Aaron Boseman began on November 29th, 1977 in Anderson, South Carolina. Boseman was the only child of his parents Leroy and Carolyn Boseman, who both encouraged him to pursue his passion in the world of acting. Looking at the early life, Like many children, he enjoyed sports. Growing up, it was common to find Chadwick playing basketball there in South Carolina. After graduating high school, he attended a historic black college. That is where he graduated from Howard University in Washington, D.C. with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts. Looking to further his skills, Chadwick would take his talents across the Atlantic Ocean. That is where he attended the Drama Academy in Oxford, England, getting help from another famous African-American actor, Denzel Washington, who helped to pay his tuition. Honing his skills on stage, Boseman was recognized in 2002. His performance in Urban Transitions, Loose Blossoms, a play by Ron Milner, brought home an award for his role. Interestingly enough, Boseman was not just seen on stage, but he also had skills in writing. Chadwick took part in the Hip Hop Music Festival, writing plays there for people to see on stage. Building his name in Hollywood, Chadwick took to the world of television. That is where he would be featured on hit shows like CSI New York, Law and Order, Third Watch, and in the world of soap operas, appearing on All My Children. Boseman would really get him to shine on the TV series Lincoln Heights. There he would definitely shine, appearing in a recurring role for the last 2 seasons of that hit series. Looking at the world of film, Boseman would represent the world of sports, appearing in The Express, a sports biopic about running back Ernie Davis, and also in 42, playing the role of baseball and civil rights icon Jackie Robinson. Now, although many recognize Boseman from TV and film, his star status would skyrocket. That is where he joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2016, portraying the role of the Black Panther, most commonly known to his fans as T'Challa. Black Panther became a box office success after releasing in February 2018. The film brought in $218 million domestically over the 4-day President's Day weekend and also earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Picture. Boseman would also go on to play a detective. That is where in the world of film Boseman starred in 21 Bridges, showing his skills and proving he could be a leading man. Sadly, at the height of his career, the life of Chadwick Boseman came to an end on August 28, 2020, where Boseman died of colon cancer. Gone but never forgotten, the life of Chadwick Boseman will forever be remembered by many fans around the world, crossing their arms over their chest and saying, "Wakanda forever." Well,
you heard it, people. Chadwick Boseman. There was a little bit more history for you. You know, he went from Howard University, MHE, from Howard University to Oxford in London. Oxford, ladies and gentlemen. We're encouraging everybody, wear your mask on the daily. Do what you need to do to keep yourself out of the center of attention. Make sure you're being safe out there. You're being wise and moving forward in your work in a positive fashion, in a healthy fashion, no matter what that work may be. I'm not here to judge you or tell you. You know what you need to do, so go ahead and do it. But back to Chadwick Boseman, Oxford University. Okay? Wow. I mean, how do you pay for something like that? Could you afford something like that? That's right. That's right. Denzel Washington, MHE Black, back there, let us know that Denzel Washington paid his tuition to Oxford University. We would like to take a moment to thank Denzel Washington for all of his great movies, for being exactly who he is, for contributing to the community, for giving back when it's time to give back. You already know what it is. If you're looking to get some get back and you're looking to get it from my direction, you already know what you need to do. Throw this flag up. The patch, if you got the flag, whatever it is, you got a friend in me. You got a friend. All right. Sometimes I can do a little too much, you know, but who doesn't nowadays, right? Who doesn't nowadays? Who does not nowadays? Now, with that being said, Chadwick Boseman, We appreciate you. We appreciate your body of work. We are pouring libations. We are praying for you. You know what I'm saying? We pray that you be kept. We pray that you be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? And received. We pray that your family be provided for. We pray that your children be endowed with blessings, stature, and poise such as you had. We understand you were a Christian man. You held to it. You were very busy and committed to your work. And we respect you and your life. All the way up until the end, you kept other people at the forefront of what you had going on. And no matter what, we know that you would have never gave up. You know what I'm saying, M.A.T.? No matter what you do in life, never give up. Keep going forward. Stay strong. No matter what you do, don't never hang that hat up. Do not hang your hat up. Do not hang your hat up. Do not hang your hat up. All right, I had to take the mask off for this one. With that being said, yo, I just got the feeling the other day I wanted to make a beat. I heard this sample. I had to take it. I decided to make a beat. I wrote a rhyme to it. I recorded it. I dropped it into the universe. And I would like to share that with you now. And it's called Hang Your Hat Up. You know, everybody always got something to say about what you doing. You know, maybe you too old. You're too young. You're too strong. You're too weak. You're too ugly. You're too cute. You're too white. You're too black. You know, we can always toot. But we only test the twos on this mic and for show improve. With no further ado, Hang Your Hat Up by Native Son. Hang your hat up. Hang your hat up. Native Son. Hang your hat up. Produced by the 7th. Does it get any better? They try to tell you that you're too old, too young, too this, too that. Man, tell them shut the fuck up. This is hip hop. Man, forever live. Who knows how much more time you got? Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Okay. Hang your head up. Yeah, I hear you. You thought I was finished? Hang your head up. You thought I could never be done? I'm racing out of the problem family, now follow me out of it. Popular politics, I'm in a position to get it in any measure. I'm only getting better. I wanna live forever inside of the silhouette up. 2 fingers with a fist and a head up. I'm tired of the silver lining, silver screen, a different time. And feel I couldn't compete, but now I'm feeling fine, feeling now I'm born, I'm feeling complete. More information, more maintenance, more like a more's a needing to be awakened. More filling up the shores, for sure there was a weight shift. Concentrated, weightless, paper planes never fold even for mutual gains. Remember who you are and why you came in the game. No matter what you do, they gon' look at you strange. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Okay. Hang your head up. Yeah, I hear you. You thought I was finished? Hang your head up. You thought I could never be done? How could you place an age limit? They counting up another age in it. History, filling the page in it. Filling the space with appreciation and gratefulness. Only get better, you can never take away from his. Integrity, aptitude is what you take away from this. Did you ever see yourself a patriot? I mean, sell across the seas and claim you made some shit. Then try to use a nigga and his face was tint. Like bronze or the black is black. Like right before the peak of dawn comes a race again. Heard it through the grapevine like a raisin head. Try to shrivel up my juice like a raisinette. We press wine, then we raise and tip. We all in. Supreme God, earth, and the fruit within. Yeah. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. We're only getting started. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Hang your head up. Okay. Hang your head up. Yeah, I hear you. You thought I was finished? Hang your head up. You thought I could never be done? Yeah. We're only getting started. Hang my hat up. I wish I would. Only way I'm hanging my hat up is if I'm calling it home. You thought I could never be done? We're only getting started. Hang your could never do. I'm all about that revenue. And each day I awake in the morning and I pray that you're working towards a better you. M.A.T. Black, how you feeling in the back? They were celebrating Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman. I would like to go back and make a correction. Earlier I said he was born 1977. Please forgive me. Chadwick Aaron Boseman was born November 29th, 1976 in Anderson, South Carolina. He passed away at August 28th, 2020, Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles. Here's a fun known fact. I was born in Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Born in Hollywood, West Hollywood, Kaiser Hospital. You know, shout out to L.A. Much love to you. Pray everything's going well. Chadwick Boseman. It makes you wonder how somebody like this grew up. How does somebody, what did they do? Somebody so great, so wonderful and profound at what they do. So it makes you wonder, you know, before they were famous, right? We're all familiar with Black Panther. Is that correct? Correct. So, what was the brother doing before that? Let's tune in with another creative.
They decided to invite folks from all around the country who were working in this same sort of hip-hop and theater aesthetic.
That's really what it's been about, not just producing works, but also about developing the artist, developing the art form and the aesthetic, in fact.
Before Chadwick Boseman would take on the role of T'Challa, king of the fictional African nation of Wakanda.
What kind of king you are going to be? Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
Before Chadwick would clock in 2.4 million Instagram followers and would land himself on the cover of Rolling Stone, Variety, and Time magazine. Also, he would become the most requested video here and Before They're Famous for February of 2018. Before Chadwick Boseman would take on the iconic roles of Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, and James Brown, all of which would earn him critical acclaim.
Are they shooting at us? They trying to kill James Brown today. You want to go down and hit you as a man that killed the funk?
Now, if any of you guys believe in The Secret, which is essentially making your own dreams come true through positive thought, well, you'd have something in common with Chadwick Boseman. The man prayed for the role of Black Panther before he was cast in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he didn't even have to audition. That's right, the studio selected him in a boardroom meeting, and they just straight up offered him the gig. But all the breaks, they didn't come this easy for Chad. He himself has stated, every year Hollywood is looking for that new white leading man and new white starlet that audiences fall in love with. But they're not looking for the next Denzel Washington, Will Smith, or Sidney Poitier. Luckily for him, Hollywood is finally catching up with the times, and the support and success surrounding Black Panther leaves me feeling like there are going to be a lot more opportunities for actors, actresses, writers, and directors of African American descent in the coming years, and maybe forever. When you hear more about Chadwick's formative years, I think you'll agree why he's the perfect man to be at the forefront of all these changes. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Chadwick Boseman prior to fame, prior to Black Panther, here for you on Before They're Famous. Now, I mentioned in the intro this was one of the most popular videos of this month to cover, and usually when I do A-listers, they're not as popular as like an online celebrity. But that Michael B. Jordan video, it did really well, you guys really liked it, and it's my job to get done with requests. So let me know who you want me to document next in the comments down below. You can also find me on Instagram or Twitter at McCruddenM. Now let's get into this bio.
Make sure you check in YouTube with your man. Celebrate all creators everywhere. Creating content for your enjoyment.
You don't always process the changes that have happened with you, but I think it was just a better understanding of the frailties of life, you know.
Chadwick Aaron Boseman was born on November 29th, 1976 in Anderson, South Carolina, USA. Population just 26 now. Now Chadwick, or Chad as he went by growing up, is the son of Carolyn Boseman, who was a nurse, and Leroy Boseman, who worked at a factory while simultaneously running an upholstery business. Now he is the youngest of three sons, and it appears he comes from a pretty big family.
I have 41 first cousins, there's 42 of us in all.
On one side? How many on the other side?
I think it's 23, something like that.
Oh my God. Do you know them all?
Right.
Of course. Let's name them. Go.
No. In another interview, he stated, when my grandmother died, she left 115 grandkids and great-grandkids. And that was just on one side. In recent years, Chad decided to take an African ancestry DNA test because he wanted to know precisely where his family comes from. The results came back concluding that his ancestors were from Limba, people hailing from Sierra Leone. Now, Boseman was baptized and raised Christian and still follows his faith to this day. Growing up, he was a part of the church choir and youth group, and clearly he was a pretty decent kid. But that doesn't mean he didn't face some adversity. Growing up in the South, he experienced racism firsthand. It's not hard to find in South Carolina. Going to high school, I'd see Confederate flags on trucks. I know what it's like to be a kid at an ice cream shop when some little white kid calls you the N-word. But your parents tell you to calm down because they know it could blow up. We even had trucks try and run us off the road. Chad played with a Little League baseball team but found more passion for basketball, which started to take up much more of his time. In high school, he qualified for the AAU National Tournament, and this was back in 1993. Outside of athletics, he was a member of the National Honor Society and was crowned Homecoming King. What a stud. In his junior year, he wrote his first play, Crossroads, and staged it at his school after a classmate was shot and killed. Now, this experience would have young Chad falling in love with storytelling, and he started to consider writing and directing as his future career. His principal at TL Hanna High School, Sheila Hilton, well, she told a local newspaper, "We knew when he was a student here you could just tell the talent he had. He was winning at everything he competed in." He graduated high school in 1995, and from there he enrolled at the historically black college of Howard University, located in Washington, D.C.
You know, Howard was one of the schools that was created after slavery to sort of catch the enslaved
around after the
African
show.
Up
we will be
with the rest of the country.
There he majored in directing,
all
but
30
he felt
minutes
to better
of it,
understand
just for
actors,
you.
he would need
Here,
to know what
at
they
the
go
end of the
through
show,
and sign up for an
stick
acting
around
class
here.
taught by famed
Chadwick
actress Felicia
Bosman.
Rashad. It was here that the pursuit of acting initially caught his attention. Now, for those of you who are asking who is Felicia Rashad, well, you may recognize her from a little show known as The Cosby Show.
All the women are dressed.
What about the woman in the back seat of the convertible?
She has on a bikini.
I don't see any bikini.
No, Mom, it's there. See, it's tiny, so when the car goes fast, it cuts down on the wind drag.
With Felicia as his mentor, Chad ended up booking a prestigious summer course at Oxford University, where he studied theater. Now, after being accepted, he didn't have the means to pay the tuition, so Felicia had some celebrity friends cover the costs. Following school, he landed work from 2002 to 2007 at the Schomburg Center of Research in Black Culture located in Harlem, and he was the drama instructor, which gave him plenty of time to sharpen up his African studies. Now, during this time, he began auditioning and booked his first television role on the soap opera All My Children. He was playing the role of Reggie Bush. Now get this, the soap decided to make a casting change and got rid of Chadwick, and in his place, young Michael B. Jordan. He took on the role. Small world.
I'm not talking money.
Then you're not talking.
Look, just change that dressing every 12 hours for the first 3 days. After that, once a day until it heals.
I look like a nurse to you?
You don't keep that clean and you will end up in the hospital.
By 2003, Chadwick was booking work regularly, appearing in Third Watch, Law & Order, CSI New York, ER, and then he got his first big role in the TV series Lincoln Heights.
Put a new motion sensor on the porch light, cut back the hedges near the windows, ran a diagnostic check on the alarm system, and checked my weapon.
During this time, he also continued to work as a playwright with his script for Deep Azure, which was performed at the Congo Square Theater Company in Chicago, Illinois. Now, this got him nominated Joseph Jefferson Award for new work. He decided in 2008 to make the big move to Los Angeles, but it would take another 5 years before he would get his huge break. Now, during this time, he was strongly considering giving up on his pursuit of acting to focus more on
hang
writing
your
and
hat up,
directing.
M.A.T.
But then he landed two seriously iconic roles. First up was Jackie Robinson in the film 42.
I jack, I rob, I sin. Oh man, I'm Jackie Robinson. Except when I run base, I dodge the pain.
Man, that's greatness.
Beat out 25 other actors who were being strongly considered, but the director liked his bravery and cast him after his second audition. Next up, he would portray the hardest working man in show business, James Brown, in Get On Up.
Are we done, Mr. Bird?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Brown.
I said, are we done?
I think we got more.
Are we done,
And it was this role that earned him so much critical
we
acclaim.
done?
Everyone was talking about him. And the executives over at Marvel Studios, well, they just decided we're gonna make that guy the next Black Panther. Or the first one. And maybe the last one. They were gonna make him Black Panther. So he signed a 5-picture deal with Marvel without even having to audition. Now, this is pretty serious. Like Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, they had to audition, but not your boy Chad.
Stick around.
Black Panther himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chadwick Boseman.
I think it was 24 hours between saying his name in a creative meeting and talking to his agent and getting on a phone with him and offering him the role of Black Panther, which he accepted. As for the rest of the story, well, that's pretty much it, and I'm gonna wrap this one up here because this is Before They're Famous. My name is Michael McCredit, and I checked out Black Panther this weekend, and it was pretty good. I'd give it like a 9.
Shout out to Mike. Once again, shout out to all the creatives doing their thing everywhere here in life. We're talking about Chadwick Boseman. We're celebrating Chadwick Boseman. Everything today is Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, Black Panther. However you're feeling, feel it in your heart. Pour your libations. Make it plain. If you didn't know, we're in Denver, Colorado, doing our thing. And how we bring. Shout out to my mother. How are you doing? I love you. I pray everything is well. We're staying well. We are staying in the house. You are in the house with Native Son, Denver, Colorado. Represent. Let's do it. All of us together. Scoop. MHE Black, Miles High Entertainment. We're celebrating Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman. We're allowing that to soak upon our heart. We're placing it into our mind. For ourselves. How do we relate? How is our life similar? How can we use this brother to move forward in our own lives? If you didn't know, Chadwick Boseman passed away August 28th, 2020, Los Angeles, of cancer. Very unfortunate event. Speaking of cancer, my brother MHE Black recently had a release called Cancer, because he is a cancer. And on there, he had a lot of great songs that talked about a lot of wonderful things. A lot of wonderful things. And sometimes in life, we have trouble letting go, no matter if it's because somebody's passed on, because somebody's taking their time to get themselves together, or because this is the end of our walk together. Together we shall no longer proceed forward. And this is where we need to separate, in life and relationships. And I remember a song, MHE, I recall a song called Talk to You Later that we created that we'll be releasing next month. Look forward for it. It will be releasing on The Drop. We'll be doing an interview. Shout out to the wonderful people at The Drop. Shout out to my guy Mailman, DJ Bella, DJ You know what I'm saying? DJ Different. Everybody over there at The Drop, my guy Mailman, and most of all, Miss Nikki Swarns. We appreciate you, all the hard work that you do. Look forward for that release next month. Talk to you later. But, since this is In the House with Native Son, we got that for you exclusively now.
Hey, it's Timmy on the track.
TTYLO, I have given up, and I have no more hope. That is just for us. Continue on, I must. I hate hanging up. My whole life's letting go. Like I have given up. That's TTYLO. Now don't get riled up. I have no more hope. That is just for us. Continue on, I must. I hate hanging up. My whole life's letting go. Like I have given up.
Talk to you later, you keep waiting, playing paper, chasing body aching. Can't contain the shame, so all that guilt just keeps you angry. And yeah, you say you love me, and then you hate me. I was such a favorite until I fell and needed patience. You keep you a replacement, so says your constant cadence. How could you be so blatant? And we had a baby. Behold what God created, and made you in the native. We've been outside living crazy, reminisce upon these ladies who did it, how they did it. No hatred, my dear, it's different. You never tried to listen. Confrontation is simply confidential. We fell in love with the potential.
Now we both learned our lesson. We learned our lesson. Listen, baby.
There is no need to mention.
Ain't no need to mention, baby.
Part of me has been suspended.
Part of me lives in you.
Inside you, so stop the pretending.
Just out. Just
yeah. Your love, I have given up, yeah, and I have no more hope. That is just for us. Continue on, I must. Yeah, I hate hanging, but whole life's letting go. Like I have given up. That's TTYL love. Now don't get riled up. I have no more hope. That is just for us. Continue on, I must. I hate hanging up. Yeah, but whole life's letting go.
MHG Black.
I gave up a long time ago. You got on your knees and you begged me please, and I stayed, but I don't know why though. When the tables turned and I got on the knee, you was quick to quit the whole crowd though. And I know they don't to you, but what really do it ain't no weekend, but what's love the crew. Same story, it ain't nothing new. All you wanna do is fuss and fight, but or sleep on the roof with a cross on wife, and you say you like it rough. Want me to slap you around and choke you out, but there ain't no trust. You probably turn around and then call the law, so it's TTYL. I don't know how it fell out of why you took my heart. Now we apart, so it's TTYL. Yeah, there is no more love. Nah, and there is no more hope, so I think it's best I let you go. Now we both learned a lesson. There is no
Tippity tap tap on that mic.
Part of me has been suspended.
Peace, family. Stick around with me.
So stop the pretending.
We're celebrating Chadwick Boseman. Peace, love, and blessings to those that have passed on, to those relationships that may be no more, whatever may be taking place in your life. Once again, shout out to MHE Black, Miles High Entertainment. No matter what you do, you gotta know that there is love. There is love. If you didn't know. Getting back to the regular show while we get prepared to receive MHE Black to do his thing live for you guys. I wanted to take a second to talk to you. I wanted to take a second to extend an olive branch. I wanted to take a moment to say I love you. I wanted to say that I miss you. I miss your faces. I miss seeing you. I miss participating in what you had going on. You are wonderful, and I appreciate it. He fought hard. He did. Yes. Shout out once again, Chadwick Boseman. We took a moment of silence. We're pouring our libations tonight. Celebrate life like you celebrate life. We like to celebrate life here, and we're celebrating his contributions. If you didn't know, he contributed so much, such a great individual. And after the show, we will be going live with his speech at Howard University. It's a 30-minute speech, but just stick around. What else you got to do? If you would like to hear the speech after the show, after MHE's performance, after we ask MHE a few questions, then we will have it ready for you here on In the House with Native Son live, episode 2. Hope you're tuning into the podcast. We're talking about Denver City politics, Aurora City politics, politics at large. We'll be discussing up Ice Cube's contract for the black man. We'll be talking about other initiatives around America, around the world in regards to the recent happenings and movements. We'll be discussing things such as the World Monetary Fund, World Bank, International Monetary Fund. Look, we're feeling good, sparking up. And there's always room for mistakes, and to recover from those mistakes, we're going off the top of the mind, giving our knowledge, giving the best of ourselves. We'll be talking about the Federal Reserve, the 12 Federal Reserves and their offshoots. There's one here in Denver, Colorado, but it is just an offshoot of Federal Reserve based in Kansas City. See, we know some things. We're going to exchange some things. Check me out on Native Son Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, however you podcast, mainly Spotify podcast, or find it on SoundCloud. Select episodes available on YouTube, live footage, and some more things. Tune in with me. We have our own websites, our own merch. We have our own movements, own signs, our own this, our own that. Shout out to Colorado University. You see it in the back. We wrap it all around. Shout out to the Denver Broncos. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the governor, Jared Polis, getting everybody, telling them wear your mask. have your mask on. When it's time to have your mask on, mask off, whatever, you know what I mean. That's just how it goes. Every day be dedicated to doing it the perfect way, and the only perfect way that I may know is the way that you decide to go. And no matter which way you go, it can never be too slow. Keeping in line with black greatness, talking about Christianity, another black great, Martin Luther King. M.H.E. Black has a wonderful song dedicated for the ladies, dedicated to Coretta Scott. Shout out to you. Shout out to Martin Luther King Jr., wonderful man, your legacy and everything that you were. Join me momentarily as we deep dive into some more music by M.H.E. Black as we prepare for his live performance. This here is King.
Every man needs a woman in his life. When his life is a mess, because it's just like a game of chess. That takes the king. Yeah, I mean, a king without a queen. It's not a king. What's a king without his queen? The main purpose of creation is union of male and female. I'm feeling Martin Luther King. Yeah, nigga had a dream that one day my career is good. What's a king without a queen? If I shout out, I'ma make you bandage up. I'ma make the pussy wet. I'm feeling Martin Luther King. Yeah, nigga had a dream and I think my career is good.
M.H.E. Black. King. Excuse me while I get everything set up and ready for his live performance. This is your time to take a drink, take a poop, take a pee. I don't want to mess up your mood. We're going to keep it moving smooth with one of your favorite dudes, M.H.E. Black, Miles High Entertainment King. Shout out.
And a man treat a woman like a queen. They make well of a team. Yeah, teamwork make the dream work. And shawty got to like him like the king. Cause I swear I had a dream that one day about my career. I'm feeling Martin Luther King. And nigga had a dream that one day about my career. What's a king without a queen? And I said I'ma make the baby drop. I'ma make the pussy wet. I'm feeling Martin Luther King. Yeah, nigga had a dream and I think about my career. What's a king without his queen? And I said I'ma make the baby drop. I'ma make the pussy wet. I'ma let that pussy clean. Shout out, I ain't lying, I'm a lie. My queen to be. Don't know how much you mean to me, but know just what I mean to you. You know what I mean to say, you know what I wanna do. I wanna give you the crown to get that shot in, let's make a prince. What's a king without a queen, girl, it don't make no sense. The kingdom get its strength from the king, and the king, he get his strength from the queen. Shout out, you know what I mean. When a woman treat a man like a king, and a man treat a woman like a queen, they make well of a team. Yeah, teamwork make the dream work. And shout out, up to like him like the king. Cause I swear I had a dream and I live out my career. I'm feeling Martin Luther King.
M.H.E. Black.
Yeah, nigga had a dream that one day about my career. What's a king without a queen? And my shout out, I'ma make the bandage drop. I'ma make the pussy wet. I'm feeling Martin Luther King. Yeah, nigga had a dream and I live out my career. What's a king without his queen?
M.H.E. Black. Miles High Entertainment. We are Miles High Entertainment. Me, M.H.E. Black.
Cause they be pretty on the outside.
We're gonna keep it going. I'm gonna let you hear some of this. Sometimes they ain't all the way right, but that don't mean you get all the way left. See, sometimes they ain't all the way right, but they don't get all the way left. Hey.
I met her through my niggas bitch. She said she knew my dead brother. I thought that was interesting. She said she had another lover. She said that she was into me. She wanna get intimate. I told her I was with the shit. I fucked this bitch and I don't know why I got into this. she got another nigga. But she don't give a fuck about him neither. Nah, cause he was supposed to see her. Yeah. But I was there when he was supposed to be there. And I beat him Michael Jack. Son Diana dirty and a pussy
Michael Jack.
Swear cause it's cancer kill him when she throw it back. Yeah, fell in love with the pussy now trap. Bitch, down on the outside. We say she's pretty on the inside. Cause they be pretty on the outside. But they be ugly on the inside. Yeah, she's pretty on the outside. But she's ugly on the outside. Yeah, she's pretty on the outside. But she's ugly on the outside. Yeah. She felt like
Ladies and gentlemen, M.A.T. Black with Dirty Diana. Make sure you check out M.A.T. Black on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, on, your free time, on the toilet, on a diet, on a Tuesday, on a Sunday, on a nice day, on a stone, on a river, on a boat, on a plane. Make sure you just check out my guy, M.A.T. Black. We're getting ready to jump into something. Let me bring this man to the stage. Let me bring him into the house with Native Son. Up with an acapella piece for you, specially made just for you. Feel welcome to click those likes and those hearts. Let's keep it going. Make sure that you share this live. Tell people to tune in later. If you enjoy what you see, this will be available and up inside of the event link. You can always go to the event and check out everything related to the subject matter and also everything related to what's going on within the house with Native Son. I hope you've been tuning into the podcast. Some episodes available on SoundCloud and YouTube. Make sure you check it out wherever you get your podcast. Music available everywhere. If you didn't know, you can Google a brother. That's one NATVSON 1 Native Son.info if you need to know. So with no further ado, I present to you my brother, my honorable brother from Miles High Entertainment, M.A.T. Black.
Scoop. M.A.T. Please forgive I thought I know not what I do. I am I, and all is all, ain't nothing new under the sun. I pray one day that everybody find the truth. Search inside yourself, cause it all starts with, wait, I can't make nobody damn thing. I could lead a lamb to the lake, but I can't make it drink. If I ain't talking to myself, who am I asking to change? I got a problem, I talk to I, and they calling me strange. I find it strange you seeking help from he who say he's ordained, but was trained by the same man that put you niggas in chains. And cause of them strengths that they got on the brain, is why they ain't even able to detain it and arrange it and retain the reason to rain. And when it rains, they whip on the reins to ensure they keep you strained and drained. That's how they keep you tamed, they feign. I gotta rearrange our thoughts with knowledge obtained from interchange, and only then will negative thoughts begin to wane. But yet they call me insane, and I don't think it's cause that I believe the world is a plane. I think it's cause I want to do deep through my veins. After today, don't mention my name in vain unless you're talking about game. Refrain from killing my vibe. I'm sustaining a positive mental, and I don't want to blow my high. I'm experimental with an instrumental, a little temperamental at times, cause I'm passionate about all of my rhymes, either rapping or committing a crime. And I'm glad that I ain't doing no time. I went from kicking doors and hitting licks and folks in the studio making these hits like, nigga, we made it. We finally made it. Shout out to all of my haters. I'm rolling the Bible papers. They probably thinking I'm crazy, but that don't amaze me. I see you later. Hasta luego. Potato, potato, or tomato, tomato. Tell me, what is the difference? Cause I don't really get it. Nah, it's hypocritical and egotistical to think that you're better than. I don't know why they don't overstand. For those of us that give and those who take and those that lack thereof, we are equal cause we're people and it's all one love.
M.A.T. Black. Ladies and gentlemen, that was M.A.T. Black, Miles High Entertainment. M.A.T. Black, man, wow, that was wonderful, powerful. Before we continue, M.A.T., I just wanted to ask you, if you would come over here, I wanted to ask you a few questions, my brother. We're going to take turns. All we got is one mic. So we're going to share it like back in the day. You already know how this goes. So, M.A.T., what is it that originally inspired you to want to do music?
In all honesty, I mean, my family. I grew up in, the church. You know what I mean? My family always had churches, and they always used to sing songs at church. You know what I mean? And it was their songs, the King Cannon family and the Religious Souls. And so that's where I get all my musical talents from. My dad always had a studio. Like, he always had a studio in the house that we was in. He always built one. Even if we had one room, it was a studio. You know what I mean? So it's just always been in me, on me. Yeah. I mean, so, yeah. It really saved my life. Like, we had a studio on Colorado Boulevard for 5 years, 2012. From 2012 to probably about 2017. We were in that. I engineered, you know what I mean, for a lot of people in the city. Pat Nanny, Trev, Ridge, Priest, a lot of people. Too many to name, but yeah.
Man, you know, music has the power to change the world, and as you can tell, it's been changing the world as we continue through our cycles and transitions. MHE Black, I would just like to say, my brother, we appreciate you, and we thank you for showing up today on In the House with Native Son, deciding to share your talent and your art. And before anybody decides to deal with my brother in a manner that shows malice or harsh intent, because I am my brother's keeper, they could twice, and that's exactly what MHE Black is going to get you to do with his next live performance. Think twice. MHE Black, let's make it pop, because it's about to crack.
It's because you automatically assume I smoke bud, that I'm a thug and that I bang with the Crips and Bloods. Is it because I'm black that I can't walk down your block without you looking out the windows and then lock all your doors and alert the neighborhood watch? Is it because I'm black that I can't walk into your store without having to hurry up and buy? I just wanna know why. Cause I'm black? Well, it must be, cause my weed hella musty, and everywhere I go, cause my cologne is so I think it's cause I'm black that I just wanna know why. Is it cause I'm black? Well, it must be, cause my weed hella musty, and everywhere I go, cause my cologne is so I think it's cause I'm black that I be floating, I be going, and I roll like a rolling stone, and I be going until next morning. Black, then growing up, it was red or blue. Who are you? I am black and so because I'm black. Wow, I went to school with a strap in my backpack instead of books to class. Pussy nigga, you do the math. Yeah, I think it's cause I'm black that I can't wait to get my taxes back, so I can cop a Cadillac with 15 inches in the back, beating down the block like the neighborhood bully. System racist bitches and someone please check his credentials. Yeah, is it cause I'm black and in the old school? Because I whip it so smooth, the neighbors wanna approach you, but daughters think he's so cool. When you pass the block, but you can smell my father's soul food. We already ate, come get a plate where you can roll through and roll through. I think it's cause I'm black is why I roll 3. It's a fact, it's cause I'm black, I hate the police. These dreads flock down my back because I'm black. These niggas know me. These shells is on my neck and on my chest, they like that, so he ain't walk black, talk black. He might be. Catch me at the crib, rolling blunts and watching Spike Lee. Told you to do what's right, yeah, we still don't do the right thing. Got a problem with authority, because we minorities. Is it because I'm black and stick purple Kool-Aid in the shade and got it made a couple $100 and I'm paid? Is it because I'm black that I voted for Obama, socially forced to be Christian? I can't follow the Dalai Lama. Is it because I'm black that I like to fry my chicken and I like my women thick like they've been eating fish and grits? I think it might be because I'm black. Yeah, think twice. Twice. Yeah. Because I'm black. Because I'm black.
Coming in while we take another quick break of live performance, Maria by MHE Black.
It's nice to know you, and it was a pleasure to meet you. And I was wondering when again I'ma see you, cause I don't wanna be without you another día. Mamacita, mi tu quiero, tú dominas ya. Lloren para her people, me te llamo tu bonita. otro día más paradiso, yeah. Shawty independent, it's a money, she gon' spend it, yeah. Maria of the spirit, I love that, she everything, yeah. I can feel your energy, girl, I can feel your spirit, yeah. Maria love happy, yeah. Maria love hood. Perfect balance, nice, but shit don't get it misunderstood. Maria, Maria.
M.A.G. Black, Maria, Maria. Hold up. Now, let me stop. I'm thinking I can sing. Miles High Entertainment, M.A.G. Black. Before we continue, I wanted to take a second to take a breath in. We're going to take another 10 for Chadwick Boseman, who recently passed away August 28th. From cancer in Los Angeles. Let's bow our heads and take a quick 10 seconds. You can count to 10, my friend. Let it begin. All right. We're back moving around. If you've been missing the episode, we've been celebrating the life and the contributions of Chadwick Boseman. We checked in with a few creatives to see what they had to say, their contributions and compiled footage and sound bites, bytes, whatever, of Chadwick, his life. Because here in the house with Native Son, we celebrate our brothers and sisters in an honorable and respectful fashion. If you know anything, as I tell my children about being a Klaus, we always move forward. We are always respectable and responsible. Gotta keep that in your mind all the time. Sit back and recline. We got one more live performance coming in from H.E. Black. Before we continue with that, I wanted to ask you some more questions, my brother, to enlighten the people. I wanted you to inform the people where they can find you, what kind of services you have to offer, and why they need to get to magmerch.biz right now and get them something. My brother, let it be known. Let it be known.
Peace, respect. You can find me, M.H.E. Black, M.H.E.B.L.A.K. on all platforms. Yeah, M.H.E. merch, that's all me and my brother's custom, custom merchandise. My brother make all the logos, I design them. We work together as a team, but yes, our custom, like, original, crafted. Yeah, merch, check it out, M.H.E. merch, yeah, got something for the ladies, something for the gentlemen, got something for the kids coming. Yeah, stay tuned, M.H.E. merch biz, yeah. I got one more song for y'all, this PTSD, y'all ready for me? I'm a psycho nigga. I like to deal with that psyche, I'm a psycho nigga. Yeah. Not psycho, just a psycho nigga.
Psilocybin DNT, nasty. Boy, don't get left behind in the rapture. Body like I'm so high, how could I miss the rapture? Just asking, cause I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high. So high, I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high. We on that DMT nasty. Yeah, my granny find out she gon' call the pastor and ask to pray for me 'cause they think that I'm crazy. Yeah, she like, Lord, what happened to my bed? Feeling like he without saying, kiss the first stone. I ain't been worried about where I'm stoned. Got the stripper trap playing in my headphone. So the black nigga write it in my headstone. Yeah, I bet you gon' ring me when I'm gone. Wait till you back, cause I ain't going. Need a
psilocybin in my mushrooms. This is what I'm thinking, I'm so far gone. In Colorado, psilocybin get decriminalized. That don't mean it ain't no pin on these lives. What's up, my lies? I was lurking inside. Just wanna open your eyes. If you realize that you really is God, I mean, it made me so I gotta be now. I mean, I gotta not be. I'm not listening like I am he. Like you are she. You gon' learn, like you gon' see. I learn from the THC.
I be on that psychedelic trap shit. Psilocybin, DMT, and that's it. Boy, don't get left behind in the rapture. And I'm like, I'm so high, could I miss the rapture? Just asking, cause in the sky I'm out of space. You can kiss me in the motion, don't know what a cloud of smoke up in my face. It's psychedelic mode, got a feeling real good, you're bound to be amazed. See the world in different views, knowing that I can't lose. Can't take up the soul and the rhythm and the blues.
And I know what to do. And look, baby, my level of consciousness, yeah, vibrate so high, I'm on Jesus Christ consciousness. They be looking at me like, what is this nonsense? And I always reply, yeah, I am. Yeah, bitch, the shit I'm talking about to me, who knew? Man, I been shit with the voodoo. Don't piss a nigga off, nigga voodoo. Yeah, I really wanna hurt you. Huh, anybody know me, know I'm too cool. Smoking marijuana with boo-boo. Yeah, you ain't got no weed, nigga, boo-hoo. DMT, psilocybin, I'm a guru. Yeah, I be on my shaman shit. Open up your eyes and hide shit. Good I don't have to war. I be on my lion shit. Steady wolf, but they be lying and shit. They be sleep young sheep, niggas wolfing. She be with weak minds, I was saying something. What you talking about, nigga? I ain't saying nothing. Open up a third eye still. I ain't seen nothing.
I be on psychedelic trap shit. Yeah, psilocybin, DMT, and that's it. Boy, don't get left behind in the rapture. But I'm like, I'm so high, I could have missed the rapture. Just ask me, cause I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high, I'm so high. Lost in the sky, I'm out of space. You can kiss me on the moon, sitting dolo with a cloud of smoke up in my face. It's psychedelic mode, got a feeling real good, you're bound to be amazed. See the world in different views, knowing that I can't lose. DMT got me soothed like the rhythm and the blues, and I know what to do.
MHG, Black. MHG merge that biz. Holla at me. Peace.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Once again, let's see some likes. Let's see some hearts for your boy, MHE Black. You are in the house with Native Son. Shout out to Chadwick Boseman. Celebrating the life.
Shout out Native Son. Shout out Native Son. I also want to give a shout out to my great grandma. She also passed 4 days before Chadwick. You know what I mean? On the 24th, that Monday. You know what I mean? She was a great woman. She, you know what I mean? Was the big mama. You know what I mean? And I love you, dear. Rest in peace. Respect. Chad, R.I.P. Respect.
Before you get out of here, MHE, we always need a closing statement from our special guest and artist. What do you have to say to our youth, to the people all across the globe? Because In the House with Native Son is viewed all across the globe. You may not know it, but to tell the truth, it is. That's the real biz. So, MHE Black, in closing, give them what you got. Let them know where they can find you.
Well, like I said, you can find me on all platforms, MHEBLAK, MHE Black, MHEBLAK, merch, MHEmerch.biz is where you can find the merch at. MHEmerch.biz is MHEMER.biz. Yeah. And all I got to say to you, man, stay positive, man. I mean, don't stay up, you know what I mean? Stay up. Don't let nothing bring your vibration down. Vibrate high, vibrate high. And that's it. Free minds, open eyes, and raise vibes on my side. Yeah. I hope y'all liked it, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, I got another piece. Yeah. It's like,
What's the difference between me and you? We also searching, trying to find find a purpose in a life that seems worthless. That's why minds cultivate anything that is surface. That's why you're still hurting right after the morning service and blaming it on the serpent. Why changing the closed curtains? Explaining in one verse what you gain in the whole sermon. Until I know thyself, then I choose to remain hermit. Either death to the ego or choose to remain vermin. But I ain't no different, just reflections of you with nothing to do. That's why I'm the reflection of proof. I sort of never spit around and less than the truth. Cause I ain't trying to be no greater, no lesser than you. I know exactly what I'm on. I lay the guessing to you. But if you're curious, then boy, I got less for you. Ever since I turned off the television, I gained hell of a vision. See the world precision like an optical prism. See the optimist in him and the alchemist in him. He looked inside and found God without the religion. I don't doubt the religion, I just doubt the division. Like I doubt the exchange of commission for false intuition, and doubt the exchange of knowledge for college tuition, and lack of the use of herbs for synthetic prescriptions. Yeah, who dare to be different? Do you dare to be different? Are you in doubt of misgiving? Are you aware of what's missing? Yeah.
MHE Black. Scoop! Let it be known, I go by the name of Native Son. That's one, NATVSON 1. I ain't gonna hold you up no longer. We went a whole hour. If you're just tuning in, you can always go back. We always share this video into the event link. Tell your friends you can go watch last 2 weeks episode. We do an episode every 2 weeks. Check back in with me September 13th, where we'll have your girl L Green giving you the soul live right here in the house with Native Son. Hoping to get Joel June in the building. Shout out to Joel June. I pray everything's well with you, your mother, your brother, your children, your family, man. What is your condition? You already know what it is and how we living. From the living room to the kitchen, in the house with Native Son. This is not a competition. We're going to leave Howard University speech by Chadwick Boseman.
Chairman, please present the Speaker, Mr. Chadwick Boseman.
Let's do this. Mr. President, I have the honor to present Mr. Chadwick Aaron Boseman to receive at your hand the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Chadwick Aaron Boseman, quintessential artist, actor, director, writer, your unique ability to completely embody the characters you chose to portray on screen and stage has created a phenomenal global sensation in the world of film and entertainment unlike any in recent history. Beginning with your work in the film 42 in 2013 as the legendary Jackie Robinson, who broke the color line in Major League Baseball by signing with the Brooklyn Dodgers at a time in America when blatant racism was rampant. And I told Chadwick last night that Jackie Robinson and Martin Luther King Jr. received honorary degrees on the same day right here at Howard University as well. To your exquisite, true-to-life depiction of the Godfather of Soul, Mr. James Brown in the film Get On Up, and in 2017, your brilliant role in Marshall, which you co-produced, about the iconic civil rights lawyer and first African-American Supreme Court Justice, fellow Capstone alumnus Thurgood Marshall, you have blazed a powerful new path in the world for the presentation of our rich lives of triumph over adversity that have been so sorely ignored for centuries. In this blockbuster year of 2018, audiences and critics around the globe have heralded your magnificence as T'Challa, Black Panther, in the feature film of the same name, and the entire movie has set afire in the hearts and minds of people of all colors, creeds, and races, the likes of which has never been seen before. You said that you had written in a journal years ago your desire to be the Black Panther. The world is in worship of Wakanda, the fictitious, technologically advanced, and rich African nation ruled by the Black Panther, who is based on a Marvel Comics character, which debuted just over half a century ago. Also in 2018, you reprised your role of T'Challa, Black Panther in Avengers: Infinity War, which is the fastest film ever to pass $1 billion globally. You came to alma mater as an undergraduate of T.L. Hanna High School in your hometown of Anderson, South Carolina, where you were reared in a loving, supportive home by your mother Carolyn and father Leroy Bozeman. Having written and performed plays in your junior year, your focus was initially on directing, and you earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in 2000. You were fortunate to have taken classes from the acclaimed Felicia Rashad, who raised the funds for you and fellow classmates to attend the British American Drama Academy in London. While your plan was to hone your talents as a writer-director, it was your exposure to Rashad's teaching that opened you to the fruits of acting as well. Settling in New York, you began your career teaching drama at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in the Junior Scholars Program in Harlem in 2002. You landed your first television role on Third Watch in 2003 and had a series of other roles on CSI, New York, Law & Order, and ER, to name a few. While continuing to write plays, you felt it was possible to do it all despite your agent pressing you to choose one artistic area of focus. Ultimately, you did see the value in this advice, even though you had success with Deep Azure, based on the tragic true story of Howard alum Prince Jones, who was murdered by a Prince George's County police officer. Your decision to move to Los Angeles in 2008 opened the way for more achievements, as with your role in the television series Lincoln Heights, then your first feature film, The Express, and a regular role on Persons Unknown in 2010. It included The Kill Hole, released just before 42, in which you starred opposite Harrison Ford. Draft Day with Kevin Costner in 2014, and Gods of Egypt, in which you played Thoth. Chadwick A. Boseman, beloved son of alma mater, your dedication to excellence, your pioneering, indomitable spirit, and motivated commitment to your craft stands as the hallmarks of your incredible life and career. You are a shining exemplar of our cherished core values of leadership, excellence, truth, and service. It is with heartfelt respect and loving gratitude that we salute and honor you as orator on the historic occasion of our 150th commencement, conferring upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor to present to you our 2018 Commencement Convocation keynote speaker, Dr. Chadwick Boseman. As you just heard, he is a true son of Howard, and Dr. Boseman refined his extraordinary talents right here as an undergraduate student under the mentorship of many remarkable people who have passed through these halls. Dr. Boseman possesses qualities that we embodied. And even when the lights are turned off and there are no cameras, those qualities continue to shine brightly. And so it is for this reason I'm pleased to introduce the commencement of Dr. Chadwick Boseman.
First, giving honor to the Creator and my ancestors on whose shoulders I stand. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. She is not here in attendance, but by tomorrow, she will have seen this. Let me also acknowledge my professors who have passed on to the other side. Because of work obligations over the past few years, I miss memorials that were held here for them. Professor Al Freeman Jr., Professor Mike Malone, Professor Reggie Ray, Dr. Henrietta Edmonds, Professor Joe Selman, Dr. Johnson, and Dr. Singleton. Professors and instructors that may be present: George Epstein, Tony Starnes, Denise Saunders, Professor Roberts Williams, and Professor Vera Katz. Your lessons continue to guide and enlighten me to this day. To President Wayne Frederick and the Board of Trustees, thank you for bringing me back here and giving me this distinguished award. It's overwhelming to be recognized amongst this year's other honorees. I can think of no better place to be right now after the Black Panther and Avengers campaigns. Learn and participate in these graduation ceremonies with you. It is a great privilege, graduates, to address you on your day, a day marking one of the most important accomplishments of your life to date. This is a magical place, a place where the dynamics of positive and negative seem to exist in extremes. Walking across this seemed to be a random day, my head down, lost in my own world of issues, like many of you do daily. I'm almost at the center of the yard. I raised my head and Muhammad Ali was walking towards me. Time seemed to slow down as his eyes locked on mine and opened wide. He raised his fist into a quintessential guard. I was game to play along with him, to act as if I was a worthy opponent. What an honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements were flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly. I walked away amused at him, amused at myself, amused at life for this moment that almost no one would ever believe. I walked away light, ready to take on the world. That is the magic of this place. Almost anything can happen here. Ain't you? Howard University. I was riding here and I heard on the radio somebody call it Wakanda University. But it has many names: the Mecca, the Hilltop. It only takes 1 hour, one tour of the physical campus to understand why we call it the Hilltop. Every day is leg day here. That's why some of you have cars. During my junior and senior years, I lived in a house off campus at Bryant Street. For those of you, that's right, Bryant Street. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's at the bottom of the hill where the incline gets real. Almost every day I would walk the full length of the hill to Fine Arts, where most of my classes were, carrying all of my books, because once you walk that far on foot, you're not walking back home until it's time to go home for good. But beyond the physical campus, the Hilltop represents the culmination of the intellectual and spiritual journey you have undergone while you were here. You have been climbing this academic slope for at least 3 or 4 years, for some of you, maybe even a little bit more. Throughout ancient times, institutions of learning have been built on top of hills to convey that great struggle is required to achieve degrees of enlightenment. Each of you had your own unique difficulties with the hill. For some of you, the challenge was actually academics. When you hear the words magna cum laude, you know that's not you. That's not you. You worked hard, you did your best, but you didn't make A's or B's, sometimes C's. You never made the dean's list, but that's okay. You're here on top of the hill. And I want to say something to that. You know, sometimes your grades don't give a real indication of what your greatness might be. So it really is okay. For others, it was financial. You and your family struggled to make ends meet every semester of your matriculation. You had to stand in one line to get to another line, to get to another line for somebody that might help you. You had to work an extra job or two, but you're here. For a lot of you, not all, but a lot of you, your hardest struggle was social. Some of you never fit in. You were never as cool and as popular as you wanted to be, and it bothers you. So your social struggles here became psychological. Even though you made it up the hill, you carry the baggage of rejection with you, but you're here. Or some of you went through something traumatic. You made it to the top of the hill, but not without scars and bruises. Some of you fit in too much. You were on the yard rapping on your frat block when you were supposed to be in class. Or you got caught up in the DC party life. I know how that is. I mean, we're right here in the city. Sometimes you forgot you were in school. You probably graduated with honors, but instead you are getting an oh yeah degree today. Oh yeah, I have class. Oh yeah, I have that paper due. Oh yeah, I have a final. You were literally too cool for school. You waited until the last minute to do your best work, and it's a wonder that you made it up the hill at all because you carried the baggage of too much acceptance. Most of you graduating here today struggled against one or more of the impediments or obstacles I've mentioned in order to reach this hilltop. When completing a long climb, one first experiences dizziness, disorientation, and shortness of breath due to the high altitude. But once you become accustomed to the climb, your mind opens up to the tranquility of the triumph. Oftentimes, the mind is flooded with realizations that were for some reason harder to come to when you were at a lower elevation. At this moment, most of you need some realizations because right now you have some big decisions to make. Right now, I urge you, in your breath, in your eyes, in your consciousness, invest in the importance of this moment and cherish it. I know some of you might have partied last night. You should celebrate, but this moment is also part of that celebration. So savor the taste of your triumphs today. Don't just swallow the moment whole without digesting what has actually happened here. Look down over what you conquered and appreciate what God has brought you through. Some of you here struggled against the university itself. This year, students protested and took over the A building, formulated a list of demands, and negotiated with our president and administration to the direction of our institution. It's impressive. Similarly, during my years here at Howard, we also protested and took over the A building in order to preserve Howard's appropriations from Congress. President H. Patrick Swagger decided to reduce the number of colleges at the university. By his plan, engineering would need to merge with architecture, nursing would merge with allied health, and fine arts, my school, would be absorbed by arts and sciences. That's how we saw it, absorbed. For in fine arts, this signaled to us that our curriculums or the curriculums of students following us might become watered down concentrations. This undermined the very legacy we were proud to be a part of and aim to continue. The Fine Arts program had produced Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen, Isaiah Washington, Richard Wesley, Donny Hathaway, Roberta Flack, just to name a few. We felt that, yes, you could go on and on, you could go on and on, you could go on and on. We felt that we could compete with students from Juilliard, NYU, and Cal Arts as long as we continue to have a concentrated dosage that rivaled a conservatory experience. But without it, although we took over the A building for several days and presented our arguments to President Swaggart and the administration, the schools were still merged. Thus, the current collection or formation of schools exists. That's why I view your recent protest as such an accomplishment for both sides of the debate, student and administration. I didn't come here to take sides. My interest is what's best for the school. A Howard University education is not just about what happens in the classroom, students. In some ways, what you were able to do exemplifies some of the skills you learned in the classroom. It takes the education out of the realm of theory and into utility and practice. Obviously, your organization skills were unprecedented. I'm told that you organized shifts so that you could at least continue some of your classes. We missed all our classes when we were in the A building. And I'm told that through donations, there was always an ample helping of food. I probably ate a slice of pizza during the entirety of our 3-day protest. So your organization and planning was impeccable. You received the majority of your demands, making a significant impact on those who came after you. As is often the case, those that follow most often enjoy the results of the progress you gain. You love the university enough to struggle with it. Now, I have to ask you that you have to continue to do that. Even now that you received your demands, even walking today, you have to continue to do that. Everything that you fought for was not for yourself. It was for those that come after. You could have been disgruntled and you fought to be participants in making this institution the best that it can be. But I must also applaud President Wayne Frederick and the administration for listening to the students. Your freedom of speech was exercised in a way where you can contribute to this place. It also shows that you can contribute to the democracy. The administration and the campus police at the time when I was protesting was not nearly as open-minded as this current one. I know this was a difficult time, but because of both of you, I believe Howard is a few steps closer to the actualization of its potential, the potential that many of us have dreamed for it. Students, your protests are also promising because many of you will leave Howard and enter systems and institutions that have a history of discrimination and marginalization. The fact that you have struggled with this university that you love is a sign that you can use your education to improve the world that you are entering. I was on a roll when I entered the system of entertainment, theater, television, and film. In my first New York audition for a professional play, I landed the lead role. From that play, I got my first agent. From that agent, I got an on-screen audition. It was a soap opera. It wasn't Third Watch. It was a soap opera on a major network. I scored that role too. I felt like Mike Tyson when he first came on the scene, knocking out opponents in the first round. With this soap opera gig, I was already promised to make six figures, money than I had ever seen. I was feeling myself. But once I got the first script, and with soap operas, you very often before and you shoot the whole episode in one day with little to no time to prepare. Once I saw the role I was playing, I found myself conflicted. The role wasn't necessarily stereotypical. A young man in his formative years with a violent streak pulled into the allure of gang involvement. That's somebody's real story. Never judge the characters you play. That's what we were always taught. That's the first rule of acting. And it honestly can be empowering. But I was conflicted because this role seemed to be wrapped up in assumptions about us as black folk. The writing failed to search for specificity. Plus, there was barely a glimpse of positivity or talent in the character, barely a glimpse of hope. I would have to make something out of nothing. I was conflicted. Howard had instilled in me a certain amount of pride, and for my taste, this role didn't live up to those standards. It was just my luck that after filming the first 2 episodes, execs of the show called me into their offices and told me how happy they were with my performance. They'd be around for a long time. They said, if there was anything that I needed, just let them know. That was my opening. I decided to ask them some simple questions about the background of my character, questions that I felt were pertinent to the plot. Question number 1, where's my father? The exec answered, well, he left when you were younger. Of course. Okay. Question number 2. In this script, it alluded to my mother not being equipped to operate as a good parent. So why exactly would my little brother and I have to go into foster care? Matter of factly, he answered, well, of course, she's on heroin. That could be real, I guess. But I didn't want to assume that's what it was. If we're around here assuming that the black characters in the show are criminals on drugs and deadbeat parents, then that would probably be stereotypical, wouldn't it? That word stereotypical lingered. One of the execs pulled out my resume and began studying it. The other exec wore a smile, trying to live up to what they had promised me only a few moments before. If there's anything you need, just let us know. She said, as you have seen, things move really fast around here. But we are more than happy to connect you with the writers if you have suggestions. Yeah, I said, that would be great. I said, because I'm just trying to do my homework on this. I didn't know if you guys had decided on all the facts, but maybe there's some things we could come up with, some talent or gift that we could build. Maybe he's really good at math or something. He has to be active. I'm doing my best not to play this character like a victim. So you went to Howard University, huh? The exec holding my resume interrupted, peeking over the pages. Yes, I said proudly. He slid my resume back in his desk and said, thank you for your concerns. We'll be watching you. I left the office. I shot the episode I had come in to shoot on that day. Probably the best one I did out of the 3 because I got what was bothering me off my chest. I was let go from that job on the next day. A phone call from my agent. They decided to go another way. The questions that I asked set the producers on guard and perhaps paved the way for a stereotypical portrayal for the black actor that stepped into the role after me. As the scripture says, I planted the seed and Apollos watered it. But God kept growing. God kept it growing. Yet and still, when you invest in a seed, it grow without you, that is a bitter pill to swallow. A bitter pill. Anybody that's ever been fired knows what I'm talking about. Even if you really don't want the job, when they let you go, it's like any breakup. You act like you don't care. I didn't need that damn job anyway. I didn't need them. But when you have, you start to wonder if there was a better way to handle it, and if you could If you could have handled it better, maybe you could help your family. And then before you know it, you're broke. And you find yourself scraping together change just so you can ride the subway so that you can get the next job. And maybe if you could book something else, that would eclipse the feeling of doubt that's building. But it seems like you can't pay them to hire you now. My agents at the time told me it might be a while before I got a job acting on screen again. Well, that was fine because I never wanted to act in the first place. And I definitely didn't want to be caught dead going after a fake Hollywood pipe dream. I'm more of a writer-director anyway, so forget their stories. I can tell my own stories. But am I actually blackballed? We're hesitant about sending you out to some people right now because there is a stigma that you're difficult. As conflicted as I was before I lost the job, as adamant as I was about the need to speak truth to power, I found myself even more conflicted afterwards. I stand here today knowing that my Howard University education prepared me to play Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa. But what do you do when the principles and standards that were instilled in you here at Howard close the doors? Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. At some point, my mind reverted back to my experiences here, to the professors that challenged me and struggled against me. Professor Roberts Williams, Doc Singleton, George Epstein, to name a few, the ones that would fail you out of the goodness of their hearts. And this may be hard to grasp for some of you right now, but I considered President Swagger and how negotiating with him was practice for a world that was considerably more cruel and unforgiving than any debate here, one that had no interest in my ideals and beliefs. How would I maneuver through all of this? I thought of Ali in the middle of the yard, in his elder years, drawing from his victories and his losses. At that moment, I realized something new about the greatness of Ali and how he carried his crown. I realized that he was transferring something to me on that day. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter in me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. He was transferring the spirit of the fighter to me. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Graduating class, hear me well on this day. When you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education, you would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When I dare to challenge the system that would relegate us to victims and stereotypes with no clear historical backgrounds, no hopes or talents, when I questioned that method of portrayal, a different path opened up for me. The path to my destiny. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. If it's meant for you, I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time. The light of new realization shines on you today. Howard's legacy is not wrapped up in the money that you will make, but the challenges that you choose to confront. As you commence to your past, press on with pride and with purpose. God bless you. I love you, Howard. Forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, let's have a moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman, born November 17, born November 1976, died August 2020. 2020. I pray everyone is safe. I would like to leave off with a short prayer, short contribution to your psyche. I thank you for tuning in. I go by the name of Native Son. That's 1 NATVSON 1. You can find me wherever. What you're looking at is the Miles High logo, Miles High Entertainment, flag of my nation, introduced by George Cook. Pouring libations tonight. Corn for Chadwick Boseman. George Cook. Peace, love, and blessings to everyone who did to bless this session. I know you've been searching for answers, but life gets so much better once you find a question.